And Mike, listening to them right now on the radio, Casey simply came over the radio and said, "We are toast." They're not sure if it's, Casey didn't think it had overheated, but they've got the hood up on it right now, checking out that power plant.
This is Kane's 7th shootout. He has a best finish of 5th. Jimmy Johnson, 5-time Sprint Cup champion, plus 16 positions since the start of the race.
That team. Go ahead,
yeah, this is a couple of cars we talked about at the top of the show. Joey Logano in that 20, pushing Jimmy Johnson in that 40.
And that team has done a lot of work since they tested down here. They were not happy with their car. They didn't have speed in the car. They went home and built a brand new car for the 500, and they've really worked hard on this car, and he's from the back to the front.
And look at them catch the leaders. They are 7th and 8th. Logano, the orange car, we thought would work with his teammate Kyle Busch, but Busch is mired back in 17th.
It's co-opetition. You work with the guy that gives you the best shot at running the best. No matter what kind of car it is. It's a race car, and that's all you know.
Earnhardt and Boyer up top as Casey Kane has gone to the garage to be the first car out of tonight's Budweiser Shootout.
Look at them go down the back over there.
And look at them
3,
come.
4, 5 wide. They're going into turn 3.
Look at the next group with a big head of steam trying to catch them. Was coming so fast it broke up.
Yeah, they had to lift up out of the throttle. They were closing so fast, and they lost their momentum just a little bit.
Down to the pits, Matt Yocum.
Two-time shootout winner Jeff Gordon has been running primarily in the back, and he's already learned a big lesson looking ahead to that final segment.
And they're pairing up. We better find us a partner. I mean, not for this run, but for the next one.
And he told Jeff Dickerson, his spotter, we need to find someone. Right now, he's paired up with the 78 of Smith.
We talked about speed. We are already seeing speeds at over 204 miles an hour. Some of these cars getting a push, catching another group.
Well, we knew last night they ran 203, and there were a lot of two-car drafts that did that. It felt like tonight when everybody got out there, the speeds would go up even more. We haven't had speeds here this fast in about 20 years now.
Jeff Burton led 2 laps in the 31. First time he's led a shootout in his 6th appearance. Look at all the paired up cars. Why is it that 2 cars work so well, 3 cars in a row doesn't work at all?
Well, you got a pusher and a shover, and if you get another car in there, the guy behind, the third guy, messes the whole rhythm thing up.
Seeing a lot of teammates, but the one thing about it, that group leading, that's not teammates. In fact, that's a Chevrolet and a Toyota right there.
Well, your friends are where you find them. Tony Stewart leads the Budweiser Shootout at Daytona. The Budweiser Shootout on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
You know, Mike, Larry, we're running around here 203, 4, 5, 6 miles an hour, and these cars look more comfortable. They look like they're doing it easier than they do when they run 195 or 190 miles an hour. Just with ease and no problem.
Still 2x2 at the front. Jeff Burton leading. You're watching from Jimmy Johnson.
2 wide inside.
This was a lap ago.
2 wide inside. More coming. 2 wide inside.
Let's go.
Man, that's what he said. That's what Logano just said. Go, man, go.
Teammates on the bottom, Jeff Burton and Kevin Harvick, 31 and 29. A very unlikely pair. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kyle Busch paired up, and then Kevin Harvick, 2-time defending champion of this race, with Mark Martin.
That right there shows you how much you slow down when you don't stay tied to the car in front of you.
17 laps complete, 18 in 7 more. We will have the halftime break.
The 5 and the 29, they just made the swap up there in the middle of the corner and did it real nice. They didn't lose any time. They didn't lose any speed. And the 22 of Kurt Busch said, you go in front and let me push you and see how that works.
And let's explain why they need to do that, Larry. Why one driver just can't stay behind the other for too long.
Well, you need air flowing through the front end to cool the water in the radiator. And when you stay back there for so long, you're getting no airflow, so you have to swap. But you want to do the swap as quick as possible because that slows the tandem down the least amount.
9 lead changes among 4 drivers so far. Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. swap positions.
And we got to look at the average speed. 195 miles an hour at this point.
Now, Kyle Busch has come from 21st to leading this race in 18 laps.
Hold the phone. 3rd place.
Well, he led it for a little bit.
4th place.
Now
going
arriving
for 5th.
at gate 12.
How quickly
13.
things change. Krista.
The ultimate example of teamwork with the 31 and 29. Kevin Harvick telling his teammate Jeff Burton, just tell me where you want to go. Jeff's command, I am going to protect the bottom. And then Jeff Burton's new spotter, Brett Griffin, just came on the radio moments ago and said, here, kitty, kitty.
But that's interesting, Krista, because these teammates, they can talk to each other by way of two-way radio.
Jeff Burton in the 31 has never won the shootout. His best finish in this event is 5th.
Larry, I wouldn't want a lot of voices in my head right now. It takes such concentration to do what these guys are doing at this speed. I wouldn't want a lot of people messing with me right now. I got to focus.
Kyle Busch by himself on the bottom. Kevin Conway is right there. Busch comes up. Pardon me, Greg Biffle. I'm going through.
And Greg Biffle in that 16 car, the lone Ford up there in this group, the top 10.
Looking for Biffle and Tony Stewart, the outside pole sitter. Michael Waltrip ripped off a lap over 2:06. So did Kyle Busch as they were catching groups of cars.
And we saw that in practice, Mike. The Toyotas were super, super fast in race trips.
The closing rate on the front group of cars is exceptional. Take your breath to watch how fast one pair of cars can catch a pair up ahead.
By yourself, you run 184 miles an hour. Right now, we're running 205, 206.
See, Jeff Gordon in that 24 car worked his way up toward the front, getting the push from Clint Boyer in 33. It's almost like Clint had to back off, Mike, because his car was maybe getting a little too warm.
4 laps to the break, and during those 10 minutes the teams will be able to add fuel, tires, and do anything they would on a normal Sprint Cup pit stop. Tomorrow, who will win the pole and the front row for the Great American Race? You'll see it live on Fox tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Daytona 500 qualifying.
After running this fast tonight, Larry, tomorrow afternoon you say, wait, man, this thing won't go anywhere. Won't run out of its own way.
Jeff Gordon up there with Clint Boyer chasing the 2 Childress cars.
Yikes.
Ryan Newman in that
Man,
39
oh man, it's getting a little tight.
out of bounds.
A little tight right there. Newman was really, really pushing the issue.
Watch that double yellow line because NASCAR watches it closely. You're not allowed to advance your position beneath the yellow line.
I believe Newman gave that back to Joey Logano because that was a borderline pass.
But there's a pass for the lead. Kevin Harvick in that 29, giving his teammate Jeff Burton that push.
And a good example of that closing rate as 2 pair of cars come up on the lead pair.
Yeah, here's where the problem's going to be right here. You got a lap car down on the bottom there. Really going to bottle these guys up here for a second off turn 4.
It's Derek Cope in the 64, the red and yellow car.
Woo! I bet these guys will be glad to take a break. They've been holding their breath quite a bit here for the last several laps.
That will happen in 2 laps. We've been caution-free so far. Only 1 car out of the race. That is Casey Kane.
I got to believe that's the fastest 20 laps I've ever seen. 196 miles an hour average.
And still, look, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 cars in contention to lead the next lap.
Joey Logano in that 20 pushing Jimmy Johnson in that 48 car on the bottom of the racetrack right against that double yellow line.
And look, here comes Kenseth up the high side with his teammate at Roush Fenway Racing, Carl Edwards in the 99.
Really what you're trying to do right now is figure out where do I need to be and who do I need pushing me to win this thing when it comes down to the end of the day.
But I have been thoroughly impressed, and this could go away near the end of this race, those 2 Richard Childress cars, Jeff Burton and Kevin Harvick, how much they've worked together in these first 24 laps.
And whatever NASCAR rule change they made so you couldn't stay tucked up under each other very long, I don't think it's working too good because that 29 has been glued to the back of that 31 for about 10 laps now.
You're watching 4 Chevrolets and 2 Toyotas on the point as they battle for the lead and in 1 more lap. we will get the halftime break. Dale Jr. said in pre-race, I want to try to get to the front before the end of the 25 laps so I have a good restart spot for the final 50. He's done it. But can he stay there? Here they come to lap 25. This would be the final lap scored. It's Burton and Harvick scooting out front, Junior by himself, and then Matt Kenseth.
The top 12 cars within a half a second of each other.
Have we got the season started or what?
But I think that coming to the line right there tells you what these guys can do when it's money lap.
Breathe, DW, breathe.
My heart is about to pound out of my chest.
Halftime coming up in the Budweiser Shootout at Daytona, live on Fox. The Budweiser Shootout on Fox is sponsored by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Everybody has come to pit road during this halftime break, and there at the head of the line is Dale Jr., and right near him, Matt Yoakum.
Lessons already learned, Mike Joy. Dale Jr. told Steve Letarte on the radio, I would prefer to work with the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, not because he didn't like working with Kyle Busch. It's just the fact that Busch's bumper didn't seem to mesh as well with Junior's. It said it pushed Junior all over the place. The 48 he worked well with during practice, but he said, once you get with somebody, it seems like you're stuck with them. So once you find somebody, that's your wingman. Krista?
Different strategies for teams during this break. Jeff Burton's team electing to take fuel only. They did not make a tire change. The plan for the 29, his teammate, was to make a 4-tire change. Jeff Burton and Kevin Harvick talking to each other during that segment and saying, quote, this is fun. Dick Berggren?
Jimmy Johnson started in the 23rd spot, worked his way up to 5th with Joey Logano pushing him. They got passed by just about everybody. Back to 15th. He's now 5th, Krista. Or Steve.
Well, Dick, an interesting observation by Mark Martin. He and Kurt Busch were running in the top 6 together. However, when they swapped to help cool the engine down, they dropped like a rock. Mark said, we're not fast enough with the 22 pushing me.
Everybody on pit road for service and adjustments. Then we'll line them up for 50 laps to complete the Budweiser Shootout.